and women wear green, and like even during the baby shower, green sari is what they wear.
Is the color of what?
Conception, pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pregnant women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my favorite color.
In my country, it's the color of jealousy.
And green is also the color of envy and jealousy across all of India. But like in certain parts, especially within the Hindu community, it's also the color of pregnancy. And I went...
Represents fertility.
Yeah, absolutely. So this form is called the color of conception. Almost without martini, nature's sinless beverage replaces Celtic pleasures. Temporary gravity gets tattooed on my essence. I smile. I cry. I look down, but can't see. I fear my worst nightmare, where I have no limbs. I stare at my swollen fingers, numb as a cadaver. They can't feel a thing. Just then, the old neighbor smells my anxiety. She pounds the bell. My pounds struggle. But she awaits her prey patiently. A hawk. I see envy in her eyes as she snickers at my body, stuck like grape leaves. Too fat, she says. Fat you, I mutter, until my thoughts get distracted by the virgin bowl leaping in her barren hands, seeking my destiny. The whole point of this book is, when my husband and I, we moved to New York, we realized like all of our non-South Asian friends were really fascinated by our wedding pictures. Like they would marvel at, oh, you wore a red for so-and-so ceremony, you wore a yellow for so-and-so ceremony. And that's what got me thinking that, maybe it's subconscious, but I think subconsciously across all cultures in the world, colors make a very vital...
my father was killed when I was a child, and my mother decided we will all wear white at his funeral. It was to contract any traditional idea of what mourning means. Mourning means black, and in that culture, in my culture, black means to mourn, to be forever in that skin, and for women especially, it means as long as you are a widow, you will always be in black. Until, it's just like this mentality. So color has a great influence. And when you say green, and you're saying these things, I'm wondering how your culture in India can process this idea that you're presenting.
It's interesting you mentioned that, like your family, your mother insisted that your family wore white to the funeral. In India, again, amongst the Hindu community, widows wear white. So, to me, and it might be a very small and a niche way of thinking, the way I look at it is the presence or absence of a man in a woman's life sort of dictates what color she wears.
Thank you.
And I don't get it. Because, a Hindu bride will wear like a red lehenga or a red sari and has all these bangles, and you wear vermilion in your hair. Because there's a man in your life. You wear green because you're pregnant. Of course, a man got you pregnant. And then when he dies, you're in white. The society is
Your poetry, it speaks that. These colors, these questions, it questions it.
Yeah, and I hope so, because, colors are one perspective. Like, there's this spectrum, and people tell you wear yellow for so-and-so occasion or wear green for so-and-so. But my point in this book is, there is that society perspective, but there's also an emotion that women deal with. Whatever be the color, so this is what this woman talks about with the color of green, fine. She's pregnant, so she's expected to, absolutely adapt and embrace green, but she also sees green in this other, as envy in this woman's hand, who was barren, yet jealous. So green can have multiple shades, but if you grow up in a patriarchal society, you just don't give it very societal meanings. And I hope this book raises those questions.
Can I ask you why you look at the other woman and ask, the question of green representing envy, rather than looking at the question of women being subjugated to the lower rung of society and having to go through this terrible agony of persecution? in so many ways. And I ask you that because I'm sure you have had friends as you grow who have been completely ostracized from your life. And I know that everybody who is a female has seen these friends being completely out from the mainstream. And they are talented, brilliant human beings. And I ask, when you write your poems, do you remember these individuals in your life as you're growing as a female? And this I say because I know it so poignantly in my life. And I ask you also because you're using flavors and colors that are female in terms of green being jealousy, green being pregnancy. And then I ask you, do these women also? Do you speak of these women as well?
I do. And there is a poem about it's called "Wedding of an Emotional Virgin," and that's what the poem is about. So they're like, it's 3 tiers. Each stanza in the poem is 3 tiers of emotion. One is what the society expects. I could read that, and one what the society expects. One is what she's going through, and and I'm not here to beat up men or say derogatory things about them. I'm just trying to present what the situation and the way I see it at this given time and point. Then even if this woman who's feeling envious of this other pregnant woman, who is the one instilling those feelings in her? It's the lack of something. And oftentimes, what if a husband has walked away because she's sad? What if her in-laws or families have ostracized her? And yes, I do try to represent, voices of these women. I always want to say that I feel very fortunate that I don't belong to a family where I've ever been, I think all of us sitting, I pretty much think I can speak for all 4 of us here. We aren't from families where, there's this huge difference between men and women. It's almost feeling like it's a social cause for me to get the voices out of the women who suffer. And despite having said that, my parents lived abroad for many years, and when we came back, one of my uncles had passed away in the meantime, and this aunt, till the time my husband was alive, really liked to dress up in very many colors. So my childhood memory was of seeing her in these saris and bangles and stuff, and the next time I see her, she's in white, and her face looked bad. And that's what got me thinking, sometimes even if it's not her family who's asking me to do things, no one told her that she could wear colors. It's the guilt from within. The point is my identity if I don't have a man in my life. And I think that's the core problem. Women being made to think that you are who you are with the absence or presence of a man in your life. I don't know if that answers your question.
Wow. Thank you.
She's very articulate.